Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to Falls from Iron. Welcome to Opposition Outcome. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, please, to drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure you hit that bell icon to be notified of any new content as and when it is uploaded to the channel. I was very lucky enough to have Tommy from TommyTalksBall, the Tottenham fan YouTube channel, on with me before our game at the London Stadium on Sunday in the Premier League, where we spoke about the upcoming match. I've literally just done a recording where he's been very kind enough to come back and have a little chat about the result, which obviously didn't go his way, but he came, he fronted up, and he gave a very good interview. So I'd recommend that you watch it. Sit back, enjoy the stream. Come on, you Irons. So, before we get into it, Tommy, I'm just going to do my little push for you. And guys, this will be in the description below YouTube and Facebook. Please do drop along to Tommy's channel on YouTube and also give him a follow on Twitter. As I say, this will be in the description below YouTube and Facebook, so you can refer back to that. Give him a subscribe. I know, as he described himself on the previous one, he described himself as the enemy, but that battle's now done. So have a look and share. As I say, share the love. We're all one football family, aren't we, Tommy?
That's it. That rivalry's on the back foot for a little while now. We can worry about that next year.
Small matter of our teams locking horns on Sunday, and what were your thoughts on the performance? I can work out that obviously your thoughts on the result would be less than favourable for obvious reasons. But in terms of your performance in the 90, did you think that a 1-0 West Ham win was a fair reflection, or what were your thoughts generally?
I think I think it probably was a fair reflection. It could have gone either way. It really, the last 20 minutes, obviously you scored in the last 20 minutes. It was one of those games that could have gone either way. No team dominated. But as the second half went on, I mean, we struggled. We struggled in the second half. I don't think we had a single shot, to be honest. I didn't realise it was that bad. Like 20, 30 minutes in, the TV broadcast was saying we haven't had a single shot. I don't think we were that bad in the second half, but we were, and I think it pretty much ended that way. We didn't have a single shot in the second half. So if you look at that, you deserve to pick up the points. But overall, I think the first half was very even. I think we finished the first half well. But it seems to be the way with Nuno. We either win 1-0 or lose 1-0. Or we lose 3-0 to Crystal Palace and 3-1 to Arsenal. So I think we're going to win a lot of games 1-0, and we're going to lose a lot of games 1-0. And this is just one of those. This is just one of the games we lost 1-0.
Obviously, I'm asking the question of you as a supporter watching from the sidelines. But if you were in the shoes of Nuno Espirito Santo, and hindsight's always perfect, but do you feel that there are any changes you could have made in terms of either starting lineup or substitutions that you think might have tipped the balance in your favour?
I mean, that's a big one. Do you know what, Rob? That's the big one. That's the subject that keeps coming up again and again and again. I said on my stream last Tuesday, I always do a weekly roundup. I'm going to be doing one shortly, actually. Should be fun. But last week it wasn't too bad. We beat Newcastle. But I try not to be negative. But I think even when you win games, you've got to look at, failures and things you could have changed. And I think the substitutions in that game, we didn't make a single substitution. We were 3-1 up. They brought it back to 3-2. I reckon if it went on another 5 or 10 minutes that game, we probably would have drew against Newcastle, and we dominated that game. It was the same. It was the same here. You didn't need to make subs because you were good in the second half. I don't think you made a sub till the 84th minute like us. Your first substitution,
85th,
yeah, something like that. And I mean, we were chasing the game. We were chasing the game by that point. We were chasing the game in the whole second half, and it's happened a lot this season, and it happened again. We had to make changes. We had. We got some quality players on the bench. Lo Celso is an Argentina. He's an Argentina international. He plays. He's one of the first players in the team. To be an Argentina international and to get cap after cap after cap as an attacking player, you've got to be very, very special. But he can't get on the pitch. Even when Ndombele's legs were gone. It was gone in the first half. He should have came off. We had Gil and Bergwijn sitting on the bench. We used them far, far too late. And it's a common theme. It's a common theme, and it went downhill from there. I mean, 65th minute, we had to make some changes. I mean, that's the usual point that managers make some changes if you're behind. I think it's fair to say, and we're just not doing it under Nuno, and it happened again. Maybe if we've got some fresh legs on, the result would have turned out differently. As I said, it was pretty tight, so we could have won that game 1-0 too. But I think Moyes done a job. I think Moyes done a job on us, to be honest with you.
In terms of Nuno, do you think that in the wake of that result at London Stadium on Sunday, do you think he's still got the support of the majority of Tottenham fans? You know, in terms of listen, it's still early days. Let's give this guy a fair crack. Or do you see that maybe there's a few cracks starting to appear in that relationship?
There's big cracks. There are very, very big cracks. After the first 3 games, we were top of the Premier League. You know, everything was dandy. But again, you know, there's no longevity to the way we were playing. We were getting lucky. You know, we beat Man City. We played them at a good time first game of the season. Wolves we were dominated against in the second game. We still beat them 1-0. And Watford, we beat 1-0. It was pretty just a sort of average game. As I said, the victory, we're going to win a lot of games 1-0. We weren't, there weren't standout performances at all. And you can see there's no longevity to that football. And it's been the same thing. It was the same thing against Palace, Arsenal, Chelsea. We lost those games. So his negative approach, the one that he had at Wolves last season, which got him sacked, seems to be there again. And 10 games. 10 games is always a good point. We're 8 games in now. But people are getting frustrated fast. Not necessarily with the league position. We're like 6th. If you've given us 6th, at this stage of the season, before the season started, you would have bitten your hands off. But it is the style of football. It's the style of football. And we saw it at Wolves. So it's not like his philosophy's changed and he's going to learn as a manager. It's the same thing. But I don't want him sacked. I mean, Levy's employed him. He's made his bed. He's got to lie in it, quite frankly, up until Christmas. I'll keep him until Christmas. But social media, whenever we lose a game, it's Nuno. We see pictures of Pochettino. We should never have sacked this guy. Is he going to? Let's get him back this season. Next season, it's all rubbish, to be quite honest, because Pochettino's not coming back. And there are no other options really if we were to sell Nuno. Nobody wanted to come in the summer, and I can't see many big names wanting to come if we sack him in a not too distant future. So we're going to have to stick at least until Christmas. But I can tell you now, a lot of Spurs fans are calling for his head already, and Man United game's big.
In terms of the team that you put out on Sunday, who were in your opinion, your star? Who was your star player, and who was the player that you look at and go, no, his performance just wasn't up to an acceptable level? Do
you know what? One of the players that's actually winning us a lot of games this season is not a player that I expected. A lot of neutral fans, yourself as well, probably wouldn't have expected. But we saw him do really well in pre-season, Lucas. We saw Lucas do really well in pre-season. And he's starting to play very centrally. Even though he's a right winger, he comes through the centre. He takes up that number 10 position and causes teams problems. He's done that. Like when he's been doing that, Tottenham play well. Tottenham win games. So he wasn't quite at it, but I don't think it was necessarily his fault. When I say Moyes done a job on him, I think Moyes noticed this. And whenever Lucas picked up the ball, 3 or 4 men round him, not just Rice and Souček, who were playing in that sort of, playing just in front of the back four. Declan Rice certainly playing just in front of the back four. It wasn't just those two. The whole team seemed to gather and try to take him out. They knew that when Lucas plays, things happen. They were taking yellow cards. They're taking one for the team. Just make sure he doesn't get through. So Lucas wasn't as dangerous as he has been. But I think that was more down to Moyes more than anything else. Ndombele done what Ndombele does. Sort of he had to come deeper as well. We like him to stick in that number 10 position. He was. I don't really expect much from Ndombele. He's just like a 50-50 player. Sometimes he's hot, sometimes he's cold. Son was okay. Kane was okay. Still average performances, but they're performances we've seen this season. If there's a performance I was probably disappointed in the most, it's probably Son. It's probably Son. The last couple of weeks, he's not really been at it. But then he's been carrying our team for so long. I mean, it's basically Lucas and Son been carrying the team this season, and the last couple of weeks, Son hasn't really been involved. So I think I would have liked Son to have got on the ball more and stayed in that attacking position, stayed in the left wing. He was coming too deep at times and didn't need to do that. So Yeah, I'd probably say Son. But as I said, Moyes done a fantastic job tactically. It was on point for West Ham.
And last question for you before we wrap this up, Tom. Where do Tottenham go from here in the next, say, if we keep it just to the next 6 league matches? You know, what do you see as being a reasonable return from the next 6 fixtures in the Premier League?
So in terms of points, so that'd be something like 18 points. I'm not a maths whiz, but 18 points. So I'd say, do you know what? We're not drawing games. We just win or lose. We just seem to win or lose. So I think it's important that we, when we're losing games, we can even pick up a point. We might not be able to win the game. We might not be able to come back. But if we're losing, come on, let's show some fight. Let's get a point out of some of these games. I feel like some of the games we could have got a point yesterday. We could have easily got a point yesterday. So it'd be nice to see some fight, get back in it and just nick a point sometimes. So if we can win, even if we can win 2, we got Man United next, 2 or 3 in the next games would be great. Even if it's 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses, something like that. But it's not just the points. It's how we set up, how we play. Most importantly, Nuno's not going to change his philosophy. He's not going to go all out, gun ho, tiki-taka style football. That's not going to happen. But he needs to revert back to the formation that he knows, and that's a 3 at the back. And the way the personnel in our team, it suits 3 at the back. I'm shocked. Spurs fans are shocked he didn't go with it in pre-season. His most successful years at Wolves were 3 at the back. You know, the wing backs flying up, and 2 centre midfielders. But for some reason, he hasn't done that yet. That is.
What do you think the reason is for that, Tom? I mean, if as you rightly say, he had, you know, relative success at Wolves. Why is he not doing that at Spurs?
That's the question, mate. That is the $1 million question. I have no idea. I don't know what he's doing with the substitutions either. It's not just because we're losing games. As I said, when we're winning games, I'm like, just throw some fresh legs on. Just stretch the play a little bit. I don't know what's going on. I think he just looks... I think the West Ham, Wolves job, losing the Wolves job, getting sacked, it's really affected him. I think it's really affected him. He must be thinking, how have I got this job? You know, we're not a massive club, but we're a bigger club than Wolves. And he got sacked from Wolves and he comes to us. He must be thinking, how have I got this job? And... yeah, I'm not impressed. It's pretty much press conferences post-match just lack charisma, and I think I cannot answer that question. Why are we not playing 3 at the back? It's crazy. As I said, it suits our personnel too. It's not just where Nuno was successful. If you look at our team, we've got ultra aggressive centre backs. So if we could have 3 centre backs, we could get away with, you know, defensive deficiencies. Same with on the wing. Wing backs as well. Doherty only ever played right wing back for Wolves, where he's very good. We tried him at right back the last 2 seasons. He's hopeless. Reggie, defensive deficiencies. If he plays left wing back, we've got 3 centre backs covering. It just makes sense in every which way to play 3 at the back. And Rob, I have no idea. Why he's not doing it. It needs to change fast. If he's still got a job. If he's still got a job. I mean, if we lose to Burnley tomorrow and lose to Man United heavily, who knows? Who knows? I mean, I wouldn't sack him, but you just don't know with Levy. He sat Mourinho 5 days before a cup final. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
Well, Tommy, I appreciate your honesty and your time and everything. And as I say, I'm obviously happy about the result on Sunday. I know you're not, but I appreciate you fronting up and coming on a West Ham fan YouTube channel to give your side of things. And as I say, Tommy, if ever there's anything that we on Falls from Iron can do to sort of help you out going forwards, we'd be more than happy to do so.
Brilliant, Rob, mate. I always enjoy coming on your show. We've done it a few times now. You've been on my show a couple of times. So, and I love these neutral streams, even though we come out, you know, we come out on the worst side of the result. We're going to get you next time. Sometimes you're the statue, other times you are the pigeon, Tom. That's the way it is. Our recent form against you is shocking. You know, that 3-0 still haunts me. 3-0.
Mikel Antonio likes getting winners against you guys, doesn't he? That's the 3rd time he's done it now. But
he certainly does.
Listen, it is what it is. But guys, don't forget, give Tommy a subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you follow him on Twitter as well. And I'm going to wrap it up there. Tommy, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do my usual sign out, mate. It is what it is. Come on, you Irons.